far in our discussion of place of supply, we've covered what destination-based consumption means and place of supply for domestic supply of goods. In this video, we are going to check out the provisions relating to international supply of goods, where there's exports or imports involved for goods only. Let's first try and understand the destination-based consumption when it's applied to exports and imports. We are going to check out the destination-based consumption principle just to understand the logic of the provision for place of supply for exports and imports. Once you get the logic, it is very easy to remember where the place of supply would be. So let's check the concept out with an example. Our manufacturer is in India. He produces goods and exports it to the USA. The final consumer is in USA. The place of consumption is the USA. Now we know that taxes are levied in the place of consumption, and India definitely has no taxing authority in the USA. It's a separate territory after all. What would this imply? Simple, that exports are zero rated. The government has put exports in the category of zero rated, taxable but zero rated. It's different from being exempt. It's just a different term. No tax will be collected because the rate of tax is zero. Under the GST regime, exports cannot be taxable because of destination-based consumption rule. Let's look at it the other way around. That is, the manufacturer is in the USA and he sells the goods to the final consumer who is in India. The place of consumption would be India. We know tax is levied in the place of consumption, and the Indian government definitely has jurisdiction to collect tax in Indian territory. So Indian government can collect tax, and this implies that imports are taxable. Keeping this concept in mind, we can check out the rules for place of supply for imports and exports. Place of supply of goods imported into India would be the location of the importer, because the importer will be the one who's consuming the goods. Destination-based consumption tax. Simple logic. For export goods, place of supply for such goods exported from India would be the location of the exporter outside India, because the exporter is the consumer. That's the destination of the goods and that's the place of supply. These are the only rules relating to exports and imports of goods. And that's the second category that we had to check out in place of supply. That gives us the idea for goods, whether it's domestic or international. We've checked out the place of supply for both the situations. Now it's time to move on to services. Services can be a little tricky because services are intangible. You cannot identify the movement as easily as you could for goods, and that makes it even more difficult to find out the place of supply, and therefore there are even more detailed provisions relating to place of supply of services. In the next video, we are going to check out the place of supply of services which are supplied domestically, that is within the Indian territory. After that, we'll check out international transactions relating to services.